some emails from wunderwood@iafro.com to Brandon, Rebecca. Subject: applying to be a bounty hunter. Dear Ms. Brandon, thank you for your email. If you would like to join the International Association of Fugitive Recovery Operatives, please fill out the attached form and return it, together with the $95 membership fee. You will receive an ID card, together with other benefits outlined on our website. However, in answer to your query, we do not issue bounty hunter badges or other bounty hunter accessories, quote unquote. We do provide an apprentice program. However, I regret we do not offer specific workshops on how to track down a missing dad, nor indeed how to stay friends with your fellow bounty hunters. Good luck with your endeavors. Yours kindly, Wyatt Underwood, Membership Manager, International Association of Fugitive Recovery Operatives. Chapter 4. As we travel toward Corey's Las Vegas address, the mood in the RV is subdued. Mom and Janice are silent. Suze and Alicia are sitting opposite me, still talking away in low voices. And I'm playing stickers with Minnie and thinking about Bryce. His full name is Bryce Perry, and he is the, quote, personal growth leader, quote, at Golden Peace. I came across him a lot when I was attending classes there, and what I'm wondering is, why has Tarquin fallen under his spell? Why has Dad asked him along on the mission? Why do the pair of them trust him? And I think I've hit on the answer. Bryce is really good looking. Which is not about being gay or anything. There's just something compelling about very beautiful people, especially strong-jawed men with stubble and intense eyes. You fall under their spell and believe anything they say. Like, if I met Will Smith tomorrow and he told me he was on the run from corrupt government officials and I must help him, no questions asked, I'd totally believe it. Well, Bryce is the same. He has those captivating eyes that make you go weak-kneed. When he talks, it's mesmerizing. You start thinking, Bryce, you're so right about everything, even if he's only telling you times of yoga classes. Suze definitely felt the Bryce magic. I know she did. Everyone did. And the thing with Tarquin is that just before he met Bryce, he'd been in a fairly bad place. He had fallen out with his family and had an embarrassing business failure, and he was generally feeling pretty down when up pops Bryce with his beach volleyball sessions and his friendly chats and his charismatic personality. So it's no wonder that Tarky fell under Bryce's spell. It's also no wonder that Bryce is after his money. When you're as rich as Tarky, everyone's after your money. Poor old Tarky. He has all this cash and stately homes and stuff, but I don't think it makes him happy, really. Okay, we're about 20 minutes away. Luke interrupts my thoughts, and I jump. In fact, we all jump. 20 minutes. Already? But we're not in Las Vegas yet. It's this side of Las Vegas, says Luke, squinting at the sat-nav. Looks like a residential area. Lots of golf clubs. Golf? Exclaims Janice in excitement. Maybe Graham and his friend are playing golf. Could that be it, Jane? Well, he does like his golf, says Mum, sounding uncertain. Susie, Tarquin plays golf, doesn't he? A bit, says Sue, sounding equally uncertain. That's it then. Janice claps her hands. It's golf. Golf? We're all looking at one another, flummoxed. Is Dad on a golfing trip? Will we have rushed into the desert like mad things just to find him on the 18th green, wearing Argyle socks and saying, "Good shot, Tarquin"? Does Bryce play golf? Zeus turns to Alicia. I have no idea, says Alicia. Seems unlikely, but I'd say there's no point speculating till we get there. This is such a sensible, dampening down thing to say. It ruins the temporary excitement, so we all sit in silence until Luke turns into a wide road lined with mansions and says, "This is Eagle's Landing Lane." We all stare out of the car gobsmacked. I thought Las Vegas was all bright lights and hotels and casinos. I sort of imagined that everyone just lived in the hotels all the time. But of course there are houses too. And these aren't just homes, they're palaces. The plots of land are huge, and they all have towering palm trees or vast gates or something, as if to announce, I live here and I'm a pretty big deal. We arrive at number 235 and gaze at it in silence. It's the hugest of the lot. Gray with 4 castellated towers, like a proper princess's castle. It looks like it should have Rapunzel leaning out of a window. What does Corey do again? Says Luke. He owns a science company, I say. He has all these patents registered, and he owns stacks of property too. He does lots of things. What kind of patents? I don't know, I say. They're all in scientific gobbledygook. I scroll through my Google search and read out some of the entries. Corey Andrews, honored by the Institute of Electrical Engineers. Corey Andrews stepped down as chairman of Firelight Innovations, Inc. Corey Andrews growing property empire. Oh, wait. This is from the Las Vegas Herald a few years ago. Corey Andrews celebrates his 50th birthday at the Mandarin Oriental with friends and associates. I look up from my phone in consternation. His 50th? I thought he was the same age as Dad. Shit, Luke turns the engine off. Are we in the wrong place? Is this the wrong Corey? Well, I don't know, I say, confused. Because he's definitely a Corey Andrews who puts eagles in his pictures. Could there be more than one who does the same thing? Suggests Suze. There's silence as we all consider this. Only one way to find out, says Luke at last. He jumps down, and we watch him speaking into the intercom. A moment later, he's back in the RV, and the gates are swinging open. What did they say? Demands Janice eagerly. They thought we were here for a party, says Luke. I didn't disabuse them. As we travel up the drive, a man in a gray linen outfit directs us to park the RV next to a building that looks like an aircraft hangar. This place is seriously huge, with massive trees and great potted plants everywhere. The netting of a tennis court is visible from where we've parked, and jazz from hidden speakers is filling the air. The other cars are all shiny convertibles, most with customized number plates. One says $34, another is crystal, and a third is a stretch limo spray painted with a tiger print. Tiger car! Exclaims Minnie, looking transfixed with joy. Tiger car, Mummy? It's beautiful, darling, I say, trying not to giggle. So where are we going to go now? I turn to the others. You realize we're totally gate crashing. I've never been anywhere like this in my life, says Suze, wide-eyed. Suze, you own a castle in Scotland, I point out. Yes, but not like this, she counters. This is like a Disney castle. Look, there's a helicopter pad on the roof. The man in the gray linen outfit approaches, eyeing us up and down dubiously. Are you here for Peyton's party? He inquires. May I take your names? I must admit we don't look like party guests. We don't even have a present for Peyton, whoever Peyton is. We won't be on the list, says Luke smoothly, but we'd like to see Corey Andrews. It's a matter of some urgency. It's a matter of life and death, chimes in Mum wildly. We've come all the way from Oxshott, Janice adds. Oxshott in England. We want to find my dad, I explain. And my husband, says Suze, pushing her way to the front of the group. He's missing. We think maybe Corey knows something about it. The linen suit man is looking bewildered. I'm afraid Mr. Andrews is tied up right now, he says, backing away from Suze. If you can give me your details, I'll pass them on. But we need to see him now, says Mum passionately. We'll be quick, says Luke. Want to ride tiger car, Minnie puts in emphatically. We won't be any trouble, adds Mum eagerly. If you could just please give Mr. Andrews this. A low voice comes from behind us, and we all turn to see Alicia coming forward, holding out a golden peace card with its distinctive shiny insignia and some words scribbled on it. The man takes it, reads it in silence, and his expression changes. Well, he says, I'll let Mr. Andrews know you're here. He retreats, and we all face Alicia, who's looking smug yet humble in that annoying way she has. What did you write? I demand. Just a few words that I thought might help, she says simply. I can hear Mum and Janice agreeing in loud whispers that the name Alicia Merrill is like royalty in the States. And think how many celebrities she must have met at Golden Peace. Not that she'd ever gossip because she's such a nice, discreet girl. A nice, discreet girl. I've explained to Mum about Alicia Bitch Longlegs over and over. Anyway, whatever. It's only a few moments later that our friend in the linen suit appears again and ushers us silently toward the house, all except Luke, who stayed in the RV to talk to Gary. Parentheses, there's some big piece of gossip from the conference dinner involving a junior government minister, close parentheses. The house has a massive studded front door, and just for a moment I think a drawbridge is going to come down, but instead we skirt around the house / castle / mansion altogether and file between some immaculate hedges like in the maze at Hampton Court until we come out onto a great big lawn with a gigantic bouncy castle and a table covered in food and 5 zillion kids running about and a banner reading, Happy 5th Birthday, Peyton. Ah, so that's who Peyton is. Actually, you can't tell who she is because every single little girl is wearing a shiny princess frock, but it's obvious who Corey is from the way the guy in the linen suit approaches him deferentially and starts gesturing at us. He's quite amazing looking, Corey. He's very buff and tanned with thick black hair and what look like tweezered eyebrows. He looks way younger than Dad. Next to him is a woman who I guess is Mrs. Corey, and when I look at her, the only word that comes to mind is frosted. She has shiny blonde hair, a sparkly top, embossed jeans, diamante sandals, zillions of rings and bracelets, and a jeweled clip in her hair. She basically looks like someone took the glitter pot and emptied it over her. She also has big tan breasts and a very low-cut top. I mean, very low-cut for a children's birthday party. At last, Corey heads toward us, and we all glance at one another. We haven't decided who's going to speak or what we're going to say or anything, but as usual, Alicia gets in first. Mr. Andrews, she says, I am Alicia Merrill. Mrs. Merrill. Corey takes her hand. Honored to have you visit. How can I help? Close up, he doesn't look quite as young. In fact, he's got that over-tight, too much plastic surgery look. And now I'm really confused. Is this Dad's Corey or not? I'm opening my mouth to ask him when Mrs. Corey appears by his side. If you put her in a cotton frock and wiped off all the shiny eyeshadow, she'd probably look about 23. Maybe she is 23. Honey, she says questioningly to Corey, what's going on? I don't know. He gives a little laugh. What's going on? What is going on? This is Alicia Merrill. He adds to his wife, Owen's golden piece. My wife, Cindy. Cindy gasps and goggles at Alicia. You own Golden Peace. That place is inspirational. I have your DVD. My friend did the retreat. How can we help? We're looking for my father, I plunge in. He's called Graham Bloomwood, and we think you knew him years ago. Unless, I add uncertainly to Corey, there's another Corey Andrews who puts eagles in his paintings. Cindy laughs. Only one Corey Andrews, isn't there, babe? Great, I say, encouraged. So you went on a trip with my dad in 1972. A road trip. There were 4 of you. Something tells me I've said the wrong thing. Corey's face barely moves, but I can see it in his eyes. A flicker of hostility. In 1972, Cindy wrinkles her brow. Corey would have been too young for a road trip back then. How old were you then, honey? I can't help you, I'm afraid, says Corey tightly. If you'll excuse us. As he turns away, I can see tiny scars behind his ears. Oh, for gosh sake, this is about his personal vanity. That's why he's denying he knows Dad. Cindy has hurried to help a fallen child, but before Corey can disappear too, Mom grabs his arm. My husband's missing, says Mom dramatically. You're our only hope. Look, I'm sorry, but you must be the same Corey, I say firmly. I know you are. Has my dad come here? Have you heard anything from him? This conversation is over, he glares at me. Are you in touch with Brent or Raymond? I persist. Did you know that Brent's been living in a trailer? My dad says he's got to put something right. Do you know what that is? Please leave my property, says Corey flatly. It's my daughter's birthday party. I'm sorry I can't help you. Can you give us Raymond's surname at least? Raymond Earl, says Cindy brightly, rejoining the group. That's the only Raymond I ever heard Corey talk about. I glance at Corey and he looks livid. Cindy, don't talk to these people, he snaps. They're just leaving. Go back to the party. Cindy, where does Raymond live? I quickly ask. Isn't it Albuquerque or San Diego or is it Milwaukee? I'm just plucking places from the air, hoping it'll prod her into answering, and it works. Well, no, he's down near Tucson, right? She glances uncertainly at Corey. Only he's a bit nuts, isn't he, babe? Total recluse. I mean, I overheard you talking. She quails at Corey's look and falls silent. So you are in touch with him. I feel a sudden surge of frustration. We're so on the right track. But if this stupid, plastic-faced idiot won't help us, we'll be stuck again. Corey, what happened in 1972? Why is my dad gone on this mission? What happened? Please get off my property, says Corey, wheeling round. I'm calling my security team. This is a private birthday party. My name is Rebecca, I shout after him. Does that mean anything to you? Oh, exclaims Cindy, like your oldest, hon. Corey turns back and I can see him staring at me, the weirdest look on his face. No one else speaks. In fact, I think everyone's holding their breath. He has a daughter called Rebecca too. What is going on? Then he wheels around again and strides back toward the party. Well, great to meet you guys, says Cindy uncertainly. Pick up a party bag for your little one as you leave. Oh, we couldn't do that, I say at once. They're for your guests. But we have way too many. Please, go ahead. She hurries after Corey, stumbling a little on her heels. I can hear her saying in puzzled tones, Babe, what's up? A few moments later, the guy in the linen suit rounds the corner of the house, accompanied by two guys who are not in linen suits. They're in jeans and they have crew cuts, and those expressionless faces which say, only doing my job, as they beat you to a pulp. You know, I'm assuming. Let's go, I say nervously. Goodness, gulps Janice. Those men look rather threatening. Big bullies, says Mum indignantly, and I have a sudden dreadful image of her squaring up to them with her Akshat Senior Ladies Self-Defense Group moves. Mom, we need to go, I say, before she can get any bright ideas. I think we should leave, agrees Alicia. We've learned all we can for now. Thanks, I call to the crew cut guys. We're on our way out. Super party. We're just getting our party bag. As I steer Minnie to a table covered in massive loot bags, Cindy reappears holding a cocktail. She sees us approaching the table and hurries over. I'm so sorry about that, Cindy says breathlessly. My husband can be a grouch with people he doesn't know. I say to him, honey, lighten up. She picks up a bag tied with purple ribbons and peeks inside. Oh, now, this one has a ballerina doll in it. She holds it out to Minnie. You like ballerinas, honey? Party bag, yells Minnie ecstatically. Thank you for a lovely party. She adds with care, thank you for a lovely party. You're a darling. Cindy beams at her. That accent. It's an amazing party, I say politely. I have a very generous husband, says Cindy earnestly. We're very lucky. But, you know, we appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. She nods at the table. Every one of those loot bags has a counterpart going to an underprivileged kid. Wow, I blink at her. That's a great idea. It's the way I like to do things. I wasn't born to this. She sweeps an arm around, gesturing at the castle. We can always remember those less fortunate than ourselves, and that's what I want to teach Peyton. Good for you. I feel a tweak of admiration. I reckon there's more to Cindy than meets the eye. Corey has his own charitable foundation too, she adds. He's the most generous giving man. He constantly thinks of others. She looks a little misty-eyed. But you must have picked that up from meeting him. Absolutely, I lie. Well, nice to meet you. Great to meet you, too. Bye-bye, Pumpkin. She pinches Minnie's cheek. Good luck with everything. Oh, just one thing I add casually as we turn away. I was wondering, do you know why Corey called his first daughter Rebecca? Oh, my. Cindy looks awkward. I have no idea. You know, they don't really talk. I've never met her. It's kind of sad. Oh, I digest this. I shouldn't have mentioned her just now. Corey doesn't like to talk about the past at all. He says it brings him bad luck. I tried to invite her for Thanksgiving once, but she looks crestfallen for a moment, then brightens. Anyhow, can I get you guys a snack for the road? Chapter 5. The party bag is insanely lavish. It's half an hour later and we've stopped at another diner for lunch and a regroup. Minnie is unpacking the bag onto the table and we're all staring, slack-jawed. The ballerina doll is just the start. There's also a DKNY watch, a young Versace hoodie, and a pair of tickets to Cirque du Soleil. Suze is especially horrified because she's really not into party bags. She thinks they're common. Parentheses, she never actually uses that word, but she twists her fingers into knots, and I know it's what she thinks. When she gives a children's party, the party bag consists of a balloon and a big piece of homemade toffee wrapped in greaseproof paper. Close parentheses. As Minnie pulls out a gorgeous pink Kate Spade clutch, Mom and Janice start Googling Las Vegas property prices on their phones to see how much Corey's house must be worth, while I quickly remove the Kate Spade for safekeeping. I'll keep it nice for Minnie till she's grown up enough to use it, parentheses, and in the meantime, maybe borrow it once or twice, close parentheses. How does he make his money exactly? Janice asks. Goodness, this one is $16 million. Property, says Mom vaguely. No, he started out in patents, I inform them. Science inventions or whatever. He invented a special spring, apparently. I got this from page 3 of my Google search, where there's a profile of Corey from the Wall Street Journal. According to that, the spring was the first thing he invented, and it still makes him money today. Although, how can you invent a spring? It's just curly wire, isn't it? There, Becky, I told you to concentrate in your science lessons, says Mom. Janice, look, this house has 2 swimming pools. Now, that's vulgar, says Janice disapprovingly, as she leans over to see, but look at that view. I don't understand how he's managed to lie about his age, I put in. Corey's got to be around the same age as my dad, but I've searched online and I can't find anything to disprove the so-called 50th birthday party. I mean, you can't just invent an age these days. What about Google? He probably started lying before Google was invented, says Janice wisely. Like Marjorie Willis. Remember, Jane? She shaved a year off every other birthday. Oh, that Marjorie, exclaims Mom indignantly. She turned 34 at least twice, if not 3 times. That's the way to do it, love, she turns to me, gradually and early. Yes, Janice nods. Start now, Becky. You could lose a decade easily. Should I do that? I hadn't even thought about shaving years off my age. Anyway, surely the most sensible thing is to pretend to be older than you are. And then everyone says, wow, you look amazing for 93, when you're only 70. My thoughts are interrupted by Luke beckoning to me. He's standing by the window and has rather an odd expression. "Hi," I say as I join him. "What's up?" Without answering, he hands me his phone. "Now, look, Becky," says Dad into my ear with no preamble. "What's all this nonsense about Mom flying out to L.A.? It's Dad's voice. It's my dad. He's alive. I think I might pass out, except I want to whoop as well. "Dad!" I exclaim breathlessly. "Oh my gosh, is that you?" Tears have already sprung to my eyes. I hadn't realized quite how worried I was, or how guilty I felt, or how many horrible images had been circling in my head. "I've just received a very garbled message on my phone," Dad says. "As I've said to Luke, I want you to put Mom off, alright? Tell her to stay in the UK. Is he kidding? Does he have any idea what we've been going through? But she's already here, and so is Janice. Dad, we're worried about you." My words tumble out. "And we're worried about Tarky, and we're all fine," says Dad testily. "Please tell Mom not to fret. I'll only be a few days." "But where are you? What are you doing?" "It doesn't matter," responds Dad shortly. "It's a small issue between friends, and it'll take no time at all to sort out, I'm sure. Try to amuse your mother in the meantime." "But we're following you." "Well, please don't follow me." Dad sounds really quite angry. "This is ridiculous. Can a man not deal with a small, private matter without being trailed?" "But you didn't even tell Mom what you were doing. You just disappeared." "I left you a note," says Dad impatiently. "You knew I was safe. Shouldn't that have been enough?" "Dad, you need to speak to her right now." "I'll pass you over." "No." Dad cuts me off. "Becky, I'm trying to achieve an important task, and I have to focus on that. I can't deal with your mother having hysterics at me for an hour." "She wouldn't," I begin, then stop mid-sentence. I hate to say it, but he's right. If Mom gets on the phone with him, the rant will last until the phone runs out of power. "Take your mother back to LA," Dad's saying. "Go to a spa and, chill out." "How can we chill out?" Now I'm starting to feel angry. "You won't tell us anything, and we know Bryce is trying to brainwash Tarky. I mean, is he okay?" Dad gives a short laugh. "Bryce isn't brainwashing anyone. He's a very helpful young man. He's been invaluable to me. Knows the area, you see, and he's quite taken Tarquin under his wing. They spend hours chatting with each other about this and that." "Under his wing? Hours chatting about this and that? I don't like the sound of that one bit." "Well, is Tarky there?" "He's here. Do you want to speak to him?" "What?" I stare at the phone in disbelief. There's a scuffling noise down the line. Then Tarquin's unmistakable, reedy voice says, "Hello, Becky?" "Tarky!" I nearly explode with relief. "Hi, I'll get No, don't bother," he says. "Just tell her I'm alright." "But she's so worried. We're all worried. You know, Bryce is trying to brainwash you. He's dangerous, Tarky. He wants your money. You haven't given him any, have you? Because don't, okay?" "Of course he wants my money." Tarquin sounds so matter-of-fact. The wind is taken out of my sails. Asks me about it every 5 minutes. Not very subtle either. I'm not going to give it to him, though. "Thank goodness," I exhale. "Well, don't." I'm not a total chump, Becky. Oh, I say feebly. Chap like Bryce, you just have to keep your wits about you. Right. I'm feeling totally confused right now. Tarky sounds so together. I thought he'd be having a nervous breakdown. But then, what was that whole act in LA about? I can still picture him, sitting at the table in our house, glowering at everyone, telling Sue she was toxic. Becky, I have to go, Tarquin saying. I'll put your father back on. No, don't go, I cry, but it's too late. Becky? My dad's back on the line and I quickly draw breath. Dad, listen, please. I don't know what you're up to, and if you don't want me to know, that's fine. But you can't leave Mom in the lurch like this. Are you anywhere near Las Vegas? Because if you've ever loved us, and you have any time at all, meet us there, just so we can see you for a couple of minutes, just so we know you're okay, and then go off on your mission. Please, Dad, please. There's a long silence. I can feel Dad's unwillingness seeping down the phone. I'm a fair way away, he says at last. Then we'll come to you. Give me an address. No, says Dad. No, let's not do that. There's another silence, and I hold my breath. The thing about my dad is he's actually a very reasonable man. I mean, he was in insurance. All right, he says at last. I'll have a quick breakfast with you tomorrow in Las Vegas. Then you can all relax and go back to LA and leave me in peace, but no questions. Absolutely, I say hastily, no questions. I am so going to ask questions, I'll start a list straight away. Where shall we meet? My knowledge of Las Vegas is fairly limited. In fact, basically consists of watching Ocean's 11 about 1,000 times. The Bellagio, I say. Breakfast at the Bellagio, 9 a.m. Good. See you there. And I wasn't going to ask anything else because clearly he doesn't want me to know, but I can't help myself, so I blurt out, Dad, why didn't you want to call me Rebecca? There's another prickly silence, and I hold my breath. I know Dad's still on the line. He's on the line, and he's not saying anything. And then he's rung off. I immediately press call return, but it goes straight to voicemail. I try Tarky's phone, but the same thing happens. They must have switched them both off. Well done, says Zook as I finally raise my head. You should be a hostage negotiator. Do I take it we have a breakfast appointment with the runaways? Apparently so, I say, blinking at him. I feel a bit dazed. After all the stressing and worrying, it turns out Dad and Tarky are both fine, not at the bottom of a ravine. Relax, Becky. Luke puts his hands on my shoulders. This is good news. We found them. Yes, and at last I feel a smile starting to spread across my face. We have. We found them. Let's tell Mum and Suze. Well, honestly, I thought it was the bearers of bad news who were supposed to be given a hard time. There I was, imagining Mum and Suze would gasp and cheer and congratulate me on having pinned Dad down to breakfast in Las Vegas. There I was, hoping for a group hug. I must have been deluded. Neither Mom nor Suze looks any cheerier for the news that their beloved husbands are alive and well. There was a brief flicker of delight, and Suze breathes to thank goodness. But now both of them are back on their grievances. Mom's line is, why doesn't my own husband trust me? At least it's a kind of duet with Janice taking the lines, "I know, Jane," and "You're so right, Jane," and "Jane, dear, have some M&Ms." Mom's basic argument is that any husband who goes off with secrets is disrespectful, and he's a grown man, and who does he think he is, Kojak? Parentheses, I'm not sure how Kojak comes into it. In fact, I'm not sure who Kojak is. Someone off the telly, I think, close parentheses. Meanwhile, Suze's complaint is, why didn't Tarky want to talk to her? She's tried Tarky's number about 95 times, and each time it goes to voicemail and she darts me a resentful look as though it's my fault. As we approach the looming skyline of Las Vegas, she's chewing her fingers and staring out of the window. "Suze," I say cautiously. "Yes?" She turns her head impatiently as though I've distracted her from something really important. "Isn't it great? Tarky's fine." Suze looks blank as though she doesn't even understand what I'm saying. "I mean, you can stop worrying," I persist. "It must be such a relief." A pained expression comes over Suze's face, as though I'm too stupid to realize the truth. "Not till I see him," she insists. "Not till I see for myself. I still think Bryce has got to him. He's messed with his head somehow." "He sounded okay to me," I say encouragingly. "He wouldn't want to have breakfast with us if he'd been brainwashed, would he? I mean, isn't it all good news?" "Bex, you just don't get it," says Suze aggressively. And at once Alicia puts her hand on Suze's as though she gets it because she's a better friend than I am. My heart sinks and I pull Minnie onto my lap for comfort. "Stop fretting?" Mum is muttering murderously to Janice. "I'll give Graham something to fret about. Have I ever kept any secrets from him?" "There was the sunbed in our garage," points out Janice. "That was different, Janice." Mum nearly bites her head off. "What Graham's doing now, it's shifty." "It's not like Graham," agrees Janice sorrowfully. And she has a point. It's not that my mum and dad haven't had their ups and downs, discoveries and moments of drama, but I never remember him being secretive like this before, especially toward Mom. "Where are we going to stay in Las Vegas?" I ask hastily to change the subject. "Not in an RV park." No, says Luke from the driver's seat. "We'll park the RV and check into a hotel." And despite everything, I feel a flicker of anticipation. I've never been to Las Vegas before in my life. Maybe now we know that Dad and Tarky are safe, we can unwind a little. "You need to relax, Jane," says Janice, as though reading my mind. "Maybe we'll book some spa treatments." "Isn't there a hotel with a circus?" Mum seems a bit mollified. "I wouldn't mind seeing a circus." "Or the Venetian," I suggest we could go on the gondolas. "There's the Egyptian one." Janice is scrolling on her phone. "The MGM Grand. And we should pop into Caesar's Palace. Fabulous shopping, Becky." "Elton John," chimes in Mum suddenly. "Is he still in Las Vegas?" "Elton John?" interrupts Sue shrilly, and we all jump. "Gondolas? How can you all talk about Elton John and gondolas and Caesar's Palace? This isn't some little vacation we're on. We're not here to enjoy ourselves." Her eyes glitter accusingly at us, and we all blink back in shock. "Okay," I say cautiously. "Well, let's just check into a hotel and take it from there." "Not one of the ghastly theme hotels," says Alicia, wrinkling her lip in a sneer. "I think we should find a non-theme hotel, something conservative and businesslike." I stare at her in astonishment. Conservative, businesslike, in Las Vegas? Okay, first of all, my mom seriously needs to be distracted from her stress, not sit in some boring business-like room looking at the PowerPoint facilities. And secondly, I want Minnie to have some fun. She deserves it. I expect we'll have to stay wherever we can get rooms, I say quickly. Tell you what, I don't mind making the calls. Sorry, I say to Suze yet again. I know you wanted to stay somewhere businesslike. Suze darts me a suspicious look, and I arrange my features into an expression of regret, even though inside I'm saying, oh my gosh. We're standing in the lobby of the Venetian Hotel, and it's the craziest place I've ever been. There's a gigantic ornate dome above us, lined with what look like paintings by Venetian masters. Parentheses, maybe just a bit more lurid, close parentheses. There's a fountain with a fantastic Golden Globe sculpture. A man in a red neckerchief is playing the accordion. I feel like we're already at a tourist attraction and we haven't even left the lobby. Luke returns from the desk where he's been checking us in. Here we are, he says, waving a stack of room keys. I couldn't get all adjoining, but at least we're all in. And there's a promotion going on today, so we got a freebie, he adds, brandishing the other hand. Complimentary chips for the casino. The chips come in a paper roll like sweeties, and they look so cute. Except they should put mottos on them like love hearts. If I opened a casino, all my chips would say, good luck, and try again. Complimentary chips, typical. Alicia makes a little M-O-U-E of revulsion. Well, you can have mine. Honestly, we're in Las Vegas. You have to gamble in Las Vegas, surely. I've never gambled before, but I'm sure I can pick it up easily enough. So let's make a plan, says Luke, shepherding us toward where Mom and Janice have plonked themselves on their suitcases with Minnie. I like it. Minnie stretches out her chubby little hands toward the casino chips. Dolly plate, please. She thinks it's a dolly plate. That is so sweet. Here you are, darling, I say, taking a chip from Luke and giving it to her. You can hold the dolly plate, but don't put it in your mouth. I look up to see Suze regarding me, aghast. You're giving Minnie gambling chips to play with, she says. What? Minnie has no idea what it is, I say carefully. She's using it as a dolly plate. Still, Suze shakes her head, as if I've broken some fundamental parenting rule. She glances at Alicia, who is looking equally disapproving. It's a piece of plastic, I say in disbelief. In a casino, yes, it's a gambling chip. But right now, in Minnie's head, it's a dolly plate. What, you think I'm going to let her gamble? I don't understand Suze anymore. To my horror, my eyes have filled with tears, and I turn away. How can she be like this? She barely meets my eye. She never jokes around with me. It's Alicia, I think, morosely. Alicia Bitch Longlegs has corrupted Suze. I mean, Alicia never had any sense of humor, but at least we knew that. We knew what Alicia was, and we hated her. Now she's all softly, friendly on the outside, and Suze has been totally fooled. But the kernel of her is still the same as it ever was, cold, humorless, judgy, and she's infecting my best friend. I'm so lost in my miserable thoughts. It takes me a moment to realize that my phone has just beeped with a text. On way! Exclamation mark. Will arrive Las Vegas later today. Kisses, Danny. Danny. I feel a swell of relief. Danny will make me laugh again. Danny will make everything better. Danny Kovitz is my famous fashion designer friend, and he's a total star. The minute he heard Suze was in trouble, he promised to fly out, commandeer his whole staff, whatever it took. He's really fond of Tarky too, so of course he wanted to help. Parentheses, well, actually he fancies Tarky rotten, but that's not something to mention to Suze, close parentheses. Danny's nearly here, I tell Suze. We can all meet up, have a nice dinner, relax. I'm desperately trying to inject a bit of positivity into Suze, but it's like trying to soften a brick wall. I can't relax, Bex. She practically spits. I need to see Tarky in the flesh. I need to know he's away from that character. Listen, Suze, I say gently. I know you're still worried, but you should try to take your mind off things. I'm planning to take Minnie to the shark aquarium. Do you want to come too? I don't think so. Suze gives a dismissive shake of the head. But you need to do something. I am going to do something. Alicia and I are going to try to find a yoga class, do some emails, have an early night. I stare at her, trying to conceal my shock. Emails? Early night? But we're in Las Vegas. I thought we could go and watch the fountains at the Bellagio and then have a drink. I trail off at Suze's forbidding expression. I'm not into touristy gimmicks, she says disdainfully, and Alicia nods in agreement. I feel a dart of hurt. Since when? She was totally into touristy gimmicks when we went to Seville that time and bought flamenco dresses and wore them out to supper and kept saying olé to each other. We couldn't stop laughing. It was one of the best nights of my life. In fact, Suze was the one who had the idea to wear the dresses, now I come to think of it, and she bought a guitar with ribbons on it. How touristy is that? Suze, come and see the Bellagio fountains at least, I say entreatingly. They're not gimmicky, they're iconic. Don't you remember when we went to see Ocean's 11 for the first time, and we made a pact to go to Las Vegas one day? Suze shrugs blankly, checking her phone as though she has no interest in anything I have to say, and I feel the tears starting again. Okay, well, enjoy your evening. You do realize we have breakfast with Tarky and your father at 9 tomorrow morning? Suze fixes me with an accusing gaze. Of course. So you won't be up till all hours, drinking free cocktails and passing out over the roulette table? No, I say defiantly, I will not. I'll be sitting here, bright as a button, at 8:30 a.m. Well, see you then. Suze and Alicia head off down a corridor, which looks just like the Sistine Chapel, and I stare after her miserably, then turn back to the others. You'll come and watch the fountains with me? I appealed to Luke. And you, Mom, and Janice? Of course, who else is Mom, who procured a drink from somewhere while Luke was checking us in and is now swigging from it. You can't hold us back. My time has come, love. My time has come. What do you mean? I say, puzzled. If your father can go kicking his heels up, then so can I. If your father can run through the family fortune, then so can I. Mom has had a slightly mad look in her eye ever since we heard from Dad. Now, gulping her drink, she looks even madder. I don't think Dad's running through the family fortune, I say, warily. How do we know what he's doing? Counters Mom wildly. All these years I've been that man's dutiful wife. I've cooked him supper. I've made his bed. I've hung on his every word. Okay, that's rubbish. Mom has never hung on Dad's every word. And half the time, she buys ready meals from Marks and Spencer. And now I find that he has secrets and mysteries, continues Mom. Lies and conspiracies. Mom, he's just gone on a little trip. It's not the end of the world. Lies and conspiracies, repeats Mom, ignoring me. Janice, do you fancy going to slot machines? 'Cause I know I do. We'll be back in a jiffy, says Janice breathlessly, as she follows Mom across the lobby. Okay, I think I'll need to keep an eye on Mom. Minnie, shall we go and see the big fishies? I turn and give her a hug. She's been such a puppet, sitting nicely all day in the RV. She deserves a bit of fun now. Fishies! Minnie starts opening her mouth and gulping like a fish. There's a little guidebook in the welcome pack which Luke was given, and as I read through the top 10 attractions for kids, I feel a bit gobsmacked. There's everything here. There's the Eiffel Tower, and New York skyscrapers, and Egyptian pyramids, and dolphins, and circus acts. It's like someone's crunched the entire world into one street and left out all the boring bits. Come on, sweetheart, I say, and hold out my hand. I can give Minnie a good time anyway.